I've got to get. Sorry, the computer's slow. I've just got to get the camera going.
I'll just take your time. I'll start talking.
All right.
Anyway, again, this is not to buy or sell. Just to start out, again, this is our opinion about what we see and what we hear, and we'll just keep moving along. Number one, I had to move the trip back, and I told William a little bit, I'm feeling under the weather. I can't travel being sick, and who knows what will happen to me in Asia running around. So I'm just moving it back. As soon as I feel better, I'll hop on a plane and go take care of what I have to do in Asia. So, again, my apologies. I can't do anything about it being sick. I just can't do anything about it. Number one.
He just doesn't want to leave his wife with those two gay guys from Spain.
Dancing all over the place, I guess. Anyway, while I was getting lunch with my son, a shareholder sent me a text message of a voice recording. I told everyone before, short sellers call all the time. I asked him if I distribute the voicemail. He said no problem. He doesn't care. Again, this is a big holder that gets calls all the time. And for those of you who don't work on Wall Street, this is how it works. The short seller calls up a broker and says, hey, see if you can get me some stock. I want to buy stock. Call these people up. And they give them the name of the big holder. All right? The big holder. And they call up and they try to get the big holder to sell his stock. So the gentleman on the voice recording is someone in the middle. He's just the broker in the middle trying to broker the transaction. So what I did is I sent it to the Secret Service and the FBI. And when they want to do grab him, they will then ask him, who gave you the order? Okay, that will lead to the short sellers. Even though it's a Wall Street type of transaction, all right, that road is going to lead back to who is the buyer, who are you representing? Okay, we'll leave that to law enforcement. I know that's a hard thing to do. The SEC can't figure it out, but that's how it works. I used to do it on the trading desk when we got 5 million Motorola to buy. I used to find people that own Motorola and try to get them to sell it. This is very different. This is very different than anything else, where this is where you have a broker calling up in a specialized name, one with a big short, an enormous real short, trying to buy the biggest holder's position. All right? The biggest holder does not deal with these people. He gets them all the time. And I wanted to show everyone that's involved how it works. All right? So they got this idiot in the middle. I forgot his name already. He makes the call on behalf of the short sellers, and they're just showing you their cards, how screwed they are. They're trying to cover, and they can't. They feel that it's their God's gift to the planet, and they should never lose money on their short sales. So they're trying to, knock it down, try to discourage investors, and hopefully someone will sell it and they can pick it off. That's what they're doing. William, do you understand that?
Yeah, I do. Your voice is a little bit, unclear. So,
is it better now?
Are you standing under a steel beam?
Is it better now?
Not really. Don't jump.
Go to a different part of the house. Hold on.
Don't jump.
Hold on. Is this better?
Yeah, Grumpy's telling you that this call is the same pattern day after day. You can guess who Grumpy is.
It's not true. This is a new pattern. They're showing us that. They're telling you how screwed they are by making these calls. It's very, as we call it, this is very out loud. They're telling you that they have a problem. It's right there. They're telling you right there that they have a problem.
Yeah.
Right? We don't have it in writing. You have it in a voice recording.
That's right.
No one gets calls like this. No one gets calls like this unless they own a lot of stock. And who wants to buy that many shares?
Yeah.
All right, so it's obviously a short seller. All right. and they're trying to cover their position. That's what they're trying to do. All right, as long as everybody understands how it works again. Am I correct? Do you understand it?
Yeah.
The short seller calls a broker. The broker represents the short seller, and he must have given him the guy Tommy's name and number, and the broker calls up, leaves a message. He feels like he's doing nothing wrong but making the call, but he's merely representing a criminal who's trying to cover a short position. All right? And now when the federal authorities knock on his door, who wants to buy all these shares, and it'll go to whoever calls him up. I'm sure he'll give them up. And these are the mistakes, and that's why we pounce on it as soon as we see it. All right? And the funny thing about it, Richard, it's not legal advice. All right? If you look at the chart this morning, a lot of people have put it up, you can see the attack out of the gate, right? The attack out of the gate was to knock it down, as you can see. And then right behind it came the call. All right, so now we expose them all over the place. You can see the desperation. And that's what we're seeing. So, any other questions, William?
This one just popped up. Can a hedge fund use more than one prime broker on the same position?
I'm sure they can. They're criminals. They'll do anything. Listen, when you're spending money, everyone will bend over on Wall Street and do what they have to do for you, as long as you're paying them.
They're saying put the phone closer to the mic. I don't know how much closer I can put it.
Is that better?
It's right on. It's right on the mic. So I don't know how to. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Let's see.
Hedge funds will probably use multiple prime brokers, and that's why you see a lot of wash trades. They're going from account to account. This is what they do. But they're concentrated. They have a concentrated position somewhere. They didn't space this all over the street, because no one's going to take a huge position like this. This is so you understand, the most moronic positions in creation. You don't need them to exist because of the security framework. Otherwise, they would never exist. GTII.
Well, I'm going to give you a chance to answer this guy. He's never been here before. He says he knows the caller that you're referring to very well, and he knows for a fact that that caller is not a short seller. Instead of filing publishing garbage, get your facts straight before publishing them. You know what?
Okay.
You're wrong.
But you know what? No. I said that from the beginning. He's just a stooge. The gentleman's name who called up is a stooge. He's a broker. He's a middleman. Not that I called him a fraud, you asshole. I said that he's a stooge. I did the same thing. But if someone called me up and said they want to buy millions of shares of a stock, I would call around and find a seller. That's what that idiot is doing. And he decided to leave his name and his number. And now he has to represent to the federal authorities about why and who he's calling about the stock for. Because he's not looking to buy 1,000 shares of stock, right? Why would he call anybody up to buy 1,000 shares of stock? What does he want to discuss?
Right.
Why do you own the stock? What is it his business? Where'd you get the guy's number from? Those are the questions the authorities can ask him. How many shares did you want to buy? Who are you representing? How did you get this guy's number? So for the idiot that... Tell your friend, don't leave your number all over the street then. Or tell him to come on and go on Twitter and tell us all about what you were doing and who you're representing. But you don't want to know something? It's a little too late because it's already been sent to the federal authorities. And it's pretty easy. They got your name and number. You deal with them. And by the way, get yourself a good lawyer because I'm sure they're going to come after you. Good luck. And fuck you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. That's a great answer. Somebody's asking you about your football. Are you praying for two teams to lose? Let's see.
No, listen.
Alabama and Washington State. Are you praying for them to lose?
Well, Alabama is worthless this year, so don't even worry about that. They're behind us. Don't worry about that. We just have to win Saturday. That's it. That's it. Don't worry. Our team is under control.
And you know, this whole thing, it's like Jeff Easton saying to a CEO, "I'm not the one doing it. I'm not doing it."
Right.
They're all part of it. They're all liars, and it's a whole scrum of people working together to defraud you.
That's all they're trying to do. The gentleman that called up today is a stooge. He's a broker trying to broker the middle. Someone called him up, whatever the guy's name is, says, "Hey, can you call this guy up? He's got a lot of stock. See if you get him to sell it." That's what he did. He doesn't know. He's happy to make the call. Maybe the guy sells it. Maybe the guy sells him 10 million shares and he makes a nickel in commission. That's what that guy was trying to do. I know it because I did it. I didn't call the guy a criminal. I said he's a middleman brokering a deal. Unfortunately, he brokered a deal with criminals. All right, he's representing.
Well, and that's you know, there's a point at which in the SEC filing against Sabi, where they say they should have known or were reckless in not knowing. He should know who he's dealing with, or he's being reckless.
And if you go back and look, the guy from Share and Tell, the chubby guy who worked for Morgan Stanley, I naked shorted every day, right?
Right.
Well, that's the mentality on Wall Street. I just did it. No one paid. I was allowed to do it, but don't blame me. I was just trying to make commission. That's Wall Street. Everybody says the same thing. And this guy just happens to be a guy calling around, trying to get people to sell their stock. All right, after the coordinated attack this morning, right, trying to knock it down. You can go look at the bars. They sold it straight down, trying to sell as much as they can, cross as much as they can at the low, so that people get disgusted, and then they start calling around. Maybe this was just one stooge that called. Maybe there's multiple guys calling around. All right? Yeah. Not thinking that if the short called up, this guy left his name and his number, and now he's got the headache.
Well, and the thing is, I had a client tell me once, a really wealthy client out of California, did some months all of my business. He said, "You know why I use you?" And I said, "No." Evan was his name. I said, "No, Evan, I don't know." He said, "I could go elsewhere, get a cheaper commission. I could go to," he named the different off-Broadway firms he could use. "But I use you so I can hang a loss on you. I can blame you for an error and your firm will pay me."
That's what he said?
Yeah, he said it to me. And I needed the business. I kept doing business with him. But that's what these guys are. They're just the fronts. They're just the suckers. They're just the patsies for the criminals. And there's no loyalty.
No, again, you know what's going on. This is how it works. Every day there's a little something that comes out. They make a mistake. Okay. And this was today's mistake. All right. They reached out to the wrong guy. And the wrong guy says, "Hey, here's a guy calling me up. I told you they call." He says he gets calls all the time. So now we got the voice recording, and here you go. I want people to understand that this is what happens.
Let me ask you something. How many other times has it happened other than this guy?
Every stock.
No, I mean for Finger with this client, hasn't it happened? Other people have called in?
Every time, William, every time it's happened, I posted it on Twitter. They're calling. Yeah. And people go, "How do you know?" I didn't have the recording. Well, now you know. Here's the recording. Right? He's not asking about IBM. He's asking about Finger. All right? There you go. What more can you say?
You've got you've got some thank yous, and one in particular for explaining the phone call and all that. So.
Do they understand it?
I assume so, but you speak so quickly and with such slang.
Oh,
No, I
okay,
think they all
I'll say
understand it.
I'll say it again. It's very important that you understand this. One gentleman is long a lot of stock. He owns a lot of stock. He gets calls from the shorts all the time looking to buy his stock.
Right.
Sometimes it's above the market, sometimes it's below the market, sometimes it's at the market. The price is irrelevant. He always says no. This time he did not answer his phone, and he had the voice recording of the guy deciding to tell him he wants to know about finger motion. He wants to discuss finger motion. What does he want to talk about finger motion with this gentleman? What does he want to know? Why are you buying it? Who are you? No one knows who you are. They want to buy the stock. This is the same pattern all the time. So the shareholder, who's disgusted like we are, that we have to watch this every day, refuses. And here it is. Now we can all hear what it sounds like. And if you go back in time, I can put up the Charlie Mayo's phone call to the GTII, to the company, where he says the same thing. It happened in GTII too. We actually have it from the short sellers. The voice recording. They do it all the time. Do you understand? They think this is normal. The shorts think this is normal. Hey, this is Charlie Mayo or whatever this guy's name is. Hey, we want to buy your stock. You want to sell us some? That's the phone call. That's it. And you know, when I think about a stock, you know, I'm just going to throw up a number. Let's say Northwest Bio. You know, someone calls up, hey, you own 10 million shares. I'll pay you 75 cents for it right now. The guy goes, you know, I've been in this thing a long time. You know what? I'll sell you 5 million. And now he sells 5 million at 75 cents. And everyone's happy, right? The investor who's losing money on the long side, obviously, he sells 5 million shares. He gets out of his position and he feels better that he raised some money. And the short seller who sold the stock at 2 is covering it at 75 cents.
Right.
That's how it works. That's it.
So I'm going to skip
Listen,
one.
I'm not going to call up Ace tonight and ask him about a stock that trades in Indonesia and ask him advice about it because he knows nothing about it. Why would someone ring a big holder's name and finger who never gave him his number ever, reaching out to him to try to buy his stock?
Well, the guy responded to you. I'm not going to read it because it's not polite. Anyway, I don't know why someone would get upset. You know, if you're on our side, you understand the fraud that's going on. If you're not, you use the tone of voice you use. But anyway, you got your 15 minutes of fame. I'm going to skip. There's a question.
Tell us when his friend gets the call from the Secret Service. Keep us up on that. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, do us a favor. We won't know when the Secret Service calls him. Can you keep me up on it? We want to know.
Yeah. And wonder if the Secret Service will be publishing garbage, whatever.
Yeah. When they knock on his door and they ask him who you're representing on the call, that's when the guy's got to tell him. That's all you got to do. Tell your friend, just tell him who called, who you're buying the stock for. That's it. You can go buy it in the open market. What do you want to call a shareholder up for? Does any shareholders on the call get phone calls all day to buy their stock? No, I don't think so, right?
Right. Now, I have an interesting question. So you have to put on your conspiracy Wall Street gray market hat. But apparently, from more than one person, Fidelity offered big shareholders of MMTLP. They offered them 100 a share, and the question is, was that a test to if they'd accept the settlement? My opinion is they're just trying to get it cheap before the settlement is put in place. But anyway, I'll let your experience talk.
Yeah, well, they're basically trying to do what? They want to get people to start selling it to them. And if you're desperate, which I'm sure a lot of people are going to say, screw this, give me the 100, I'm out. It may go to 120 in 5 more days from now. It may go to 90. You don't know. But if you're desperate and you need your money, you have to take the money. That's it. There's nothing else.
But it also could mean the settlement's coming, and it could be much higher. And Fidelity just wants to buy them the cheap.
If they can cut let's say there's 10 million shares
Yeah.
in MMT. I'm just making up a number.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they can buy back 6 million at $100. Isn't that better than buying back, 10 million at
250 or whatever.
whatever? Right. So that's what they try to do. You'll get people that are desperate. They'll take the money. Not even a question about that.
And other people, Lafi Hatum asked if you are aware of this $100 offering, and I don't think Ham would know. Huh?
I've been hearing that there's something coming down in 50 days to 60 days. Everyone's been talking about it, and we'll wait and see what happens. I don't know. I've been hearing it from very good people, but again, we're all talking about, we're all guessing until you actually see it. But if anyone thought, they may offer it to you, they may make you sign a non-disclosure.
P Money, I don't know if I'm assuming this is a man saying he doesn't have to do OnlyFans if we have a settlement. Well, I would wait to do OnlyFans when they make the payouts equivalent between hot women and middle-aged men.
I only want to see him because I want to see him because he's a big fat old guy. I'll sign up. Tell me what it is.
So switching.
I'm tired of looking beautiful women. Let me see a big fat old guy.
Switching to GTII dividend. This gentleman has a good question, I think, and you knew Pat Burns. You knew Overstock. He says under the Overstock model, the dividend, it took 6 weeks for Overstock to run after they ran into trouble with the dividend. Is it good? Did they have the same problems? Is it similar here, or is it just a complete?
When you have a round peg and you got to put it into like a triangle box and it doesn't fit, obviously things will work out. Something will come out of it. That's why the dividends are done. All right, that's what it's all about. I don't know the exact days that it ran. I know they drove it down from 30 to 2 on me, and I lost my money. I bought calls on it, and I got wiped out. Then it went from $2 or $3 to 128. So I missed it, and not happy about it, but I did.
The gentleman that thanked you for your explanation did just come and say, yes, he does understand now. He didn't before, so that he appreciates.
This is the most important thing. This is how Wall Street works on the institutional desk. I'm sitting there. The desk has 5 million shares to buy a Motorola, and the head trader would say, "Hey, I got 5 million to buy. Does anybody have any sellers?" We all start to hit the phones, and I pick up and I say, "I got 300,000. I could tell you," and we would cross the 300,000 to our buyer. My seller would sell the buyer, and I would get a commission on it. That's it. That's what this guy's trying to do, the guy who called up. I didn't say he's a crook. I said the order he's getting from somebody is a crook.
Right.
All right?
Right.
That's all I said. So, again, this guy left his voicemail. Now, the gentleman who got the call gave us the voicemail, and his name and his number on it. He has to explain it to the federal authorities. What do I got to do with it? Let him explain it.
By the way, you didn't put out the gentleman's name or number. So this guy's how did this guy know who you're talking about?
Right. No, it's in the voicemail. The guy's name and number. He says it. My name is blank blank. Here's my number. So let him deal with it now. And listen, I just sent it to the federal authorities. End the conversation. Let him deal with them. If he's a good guy, then he gets cleared. Who are you working for? If this guy's got $20 in his brokerage account, obviously he's not representing himself to buy 10, 20 million shares of stock, right? To buy 20 million shares of $4 stock, he needs $80 million, right?
Right.
So it'd be pretty easy for the federal authorities, whatever the guy's name is, "Hey, Mr. X, who are you representing?" "I'm representing myself." "Well, we look in your account, you got $10,000 in it. How are you going to buy $80 million worth of stock?" Humana. Or you affront to somebody else. That's it. It's pretty easy. And just like I'm teaching you, I taught the federal authorities. That's what he's going to say. So either he has the money for himself, or he's representing someone else. That's it. And who is that someone else you're representing? And then he'll have to do is give up his friend, whoever gave him the order. That's it.
Do you know anything about BBBY?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
I knew before it went to bankruptcy, but I don't know, I don't know, what's going on there.
I like to hear this. This person, anyway, he or she, if they get $100, they're going to be able to retire at 40. Good for you. That's great.
I hope it happens for you. And then you can write a
And
book.
don't buy any stocks in the United States
stocks.
market.
I'll open up a hot dog stand someplace and just enjoy the rest of your life. If you buy a hot dog for 80 cents and you sell it for $1.20 and you make money, take that as a profit and never look back. Don't do anything again. The equity market, if you just look at what's going on in South Korea and in Thailand, where their authorities are pursuing naked shorts and punishing them. And just look what happens in the U.S. Savvy management robbing people for years, got caught, paid a small fine, and he's in his beautiful $10 million condo with probably $50 or $100 million in the bank. His son, someone told me his son did a internship at BlackRock. He's got great friends on Wall Street because he's paying out commission, blah, 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 blah. And everybody else here is suffering while this guy's walking through life as though he's Diamond Jim Brady. What is that the term? I forgot. Is that the term, William?
Diamond Jim Brady?
Yeah, I think that's it.
I know the name. I don't remember.
It's an old Western thing. I think it's an old Western movie thing. I can't remember. But anyway, he's walking around, though, as though if he's Bill Gates. So I'll use a different name. I'm the king. I did this. No one. I paid my fine. I'm good. I'm good now. Don't worry about me. I'm good. I was only committing I had a scheme to defraud people in naked shorting, and the SEC caught me, and I paid a $2 to $3 million parking ticket. That's what he did. So again, this is how the operation works. These guys need to cover, and what pops out? People calling around to buy stock. The gentleman that left his message, he left his message on someone's phone. Now we have to deal with it that it's public. There you go. Your information is now public. You did it, not us.
At the risk of talking off your area of interest, do you think MMTLP could be resolved either by the end of the year or shortly thereafter?
They have to put that to bed. They can't keep having this thing. You guys don't understand that the Congress is after these guys. They're after the SEC. How long can the SEC keep hiding? You don't think they know that they're lying to them? Can you tell us about this? No. What about this? No. We want this. We'll try. You can't hide forever. And the more they don't answer, the more the congressmen have to take the shit from the people yelling at them. And they're going to want an answer from it. So, again, they can't go backwards now.
Jennifer points out that she trusts Mark Bazile, and she's happy he's all over it with MMTLP.
No, listen, I told you, I met that guy. He's a great guy. Great guy.
It looks like he plays guitar.
Oh, I don't know about that.
He's got guitars in his office. I wasn't there. It was a Zoom call. It wasn't. I wasn't there.
Okay. I don't know. You know what? I think he posted a picture of how you roast somebody, and it was Jimi Hendrix roasting the chicken. So I think he does like guitars. I guess based on that photo, I think I saw him. It was on Twitter. But anyway.
Would a market crash mean game over for Lind Partners?
Well, Lind Partners, they make 220%. They're better than Charlie Munger. There he goes. He's the best investor in the world. I don't know why they keep bragging about Buffett and Charlie. Jeff Easton's better, 220%. Those guys only had an average return of 20%.
Yeah, and look at all the good Jeff Easton's doing.
Yeah, him and his family are just enjoying themselves, and everybody else is getting robbed.
So apparently, Mark Mark Bazile, according to Not, Mark Bazile played the guitar professionally.
Oh, did he really?
Apparently.
Busy
Apparently, he's
Brands told
just
me
an amateur lawyer and a professional
Busy
musician.
Brands told me he thought Mark Bazile played the male organ for a while.
Oh my gosh. This is a family audience.
I don't want to say it, Mark will kill me, but anyway, he's a good guy.
Was it a duo? Was it a duo or a solo act?
William, before we move on,
Yeah.
does everyone understand the phone call and the relationship between the idiot that called up?
I think you should go through it again. Several people have joined. Just do it again. I think it's
okay
worth
today,
the effort.
Some gentleman called up, one of the biggest holders. Obviously, he's trying to buy his stock. All right. That was after this morning's attack. They try to see if the guy wants to give up, sell his stock. This is normal. That's how Wall Street operates. Someone gave that gentleman, I don't know his name, someone gave him an order to try to buy someone's stock. So the guy calls up, the guy, Tommy, I want to buy your stock. Tommy doesn't answer, leaves a voice recording. He tells me, and now we can all hear that this is a short seller, a gentleman representing a short seller trying to buy a shareholder's position. Number one, the shareholder doesn't post his position. Number two, his number isn't broadcasted anywhere. And number three, how did they know he had the stock? It's just ridiculous.
Right.
All right.
Right.
So obviously they're trying to track down everybody and who's doing what, and they got his number. They called up. They have some innocent stooge. Okay, for the gentleman again who called up and saying his friend's a good guy. He's an innocent stooge. That's what we're going to call him from now on. The innocent stooge from Canada who called up the shareholder trying to buy his stock now has a problem because the Secret Service and the FBI are going to want to know who he is representing that wants to buy that stock. Because he's a broker. He's an innocent stooge. He's in the middle. He's trying to broker a transaction.
And he thinks he's going to have a big ticket.
He thinks he's going to have a big ticket in case this guy wants to sell his stock. So that's what Wall Street's about. You make a phone call, maybe you get lucky and you get a big order. Oh my God, the guy wants to sell 5 million shares. I can get 5 cents a share in commission. I'll take it. This is unbelievable. All right, because he worked to get the order. But someone pointed him in someone's direction. Someone knew that the guy had a lot of stock and they pointed him that direction and they got the guy's number. That's what happened. That is a common practice on Wall Street. Most people who have a big position advertise that they have a big position. The gentleman in finger motion doesn't advertise that he has a big position. How is this guy knowing that he has a big position, right?
Right.
So again, who is he representing? And when the federal authorities knock on his door, he's going to have to give up who gave him the order to go try to buy this stock.
I mean, it's analogous to that poor broker that was going on his honeymoon at Pacific West, taking orders from somebody selling GTII, and he had to cancel his trip and answer questions with the FBI.
Right.
He's just most brokers don't know anything, by the way.
We don't know anything. If you called me up and said, hey, I want to buy 10 million shares of the stock, I'm going to go dial everybody's number I can to find a seller.
Right.
So I get paid commission on that.
Right.
That's what our job was. And that's what the stooge that we just talked about, that's what he did.
It's an interesting question because you were working on a trading desk, so it'd go across your desk. But hypothetically, if that phone call were to work, where would the purchase be executed? Would it be in the market or in a dark pool or
no? What they
privately?
Would do is, if he works at a brokerage firm, he would open an account. You open an account with him, a DVP account, whatever, and they would just do the transaction there. I don't believe they would do a cross in the market. I don't think that like a Fidelity would. They would go sell 5 million shares at $4, and I'll put a bid in for 5 million shares, and we both cross it then. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand. Your your friend is a nightmare. I wonder what he's like around the house. Does Ham think there's any irregularity in the trading of Finger or GTII? I'll give you one guess who's asking that.
It's not legal advice.
You got it.
He's wearing me out. We were laughing about his jokes yesterday. I was listening to it with my son. He goes, boy, that guy's got some bad jokes. I can't remember them, but they were bad. But there were two of them yesterday.
Dry sense of humor. It's an arid sense of humor.
Right.
Or the humor left the room. No, sometimes he's funny. Just can't always count on it.
Listen, it makes himself laugh, and that's not my sense. I'm a Rodney Dangerfield guy, so again, that's my humor.
Look, guys, everyone's asking about this MMTLP. My opinion, because of everything being heard, there is momentum to a financial settlement. My guess is they're going to come in large, whatever it is. I don't know what large means. I think Fidelity is trying to front run a much more expensive situation. If Fidelity has to buy back stock, I'm making it up, at $500 a share, maybe they don't know yet, under the global settlement, why not go out and offer $100 now and try to minimize your overall cost? That's what I think. And maybe even profit somehow. I don't know.
My question, I have a question for everybody. Why is GameStop going up again? So 4 points.
Because I said it never was going to. I don't know. Why? Does anybody know why GameStop's going up? They'll answer.
Well, if you look at it, if it is a short squeeze, all right, in GameStop, this is how you do it. They shorted it north of 20. It drops down to whatever, and the shorts come in and they try to cover. That's it. That's how a short covers. Because I don't know many shareholders. Okay, everyone on this phone call, all right, I'm going to say, go buy GameStop right now. And you say, why? Well, I'll say, what's up? $3.80. Is it going to go higher?
Ocean Sailing says earnings are expected next week for GME.
All right, so someone's panicking to cover. Do you think the longs are buying the stock now, up 4 points? I doubt it.
One gentleman is saying GME is going up because Robinhood put it on 24-hour market trading. I'm not sure what that means, but
do me a favor, tell that guy to call up and get Robinhood to put finger motion on 24-hour trading. That's what makes stocks go up. That sounds like a great thing. It should be for everybody then. Why? What are you doing for your company? Oh, we don't have any fundamentals. We just want our stock to trade 24 hours a day. It makes it go up.
This guy's saying there are no bad jokes, only bad listeners.
And again, that somebody's trying to cover. Okay, the stock is up 4 points. Longs do not chase stocks up 4 points. That's shorts chasing the stock trying to cover. All right, that's just if I were to call up a hedge fund and tell them, hey, listen, I'm hearing you got to own GameStop, and they go, why didn't you tell me when it was up $1, not 4 points? And they would never buy it. So no one chases stocks up 4 points. The only people that chase stocks up 4 points are short sellers.
It's trading 24 hours a day.
Right.
Look, I'm just going to ask you. It comes up all the time. I don't even know what it is. Do you update GDC? I don't even know what it refers to. GDC.
I've been told to buy it. The stock I thought was going to go this morning. There's people that I know, they're pretty smart people that bought a lot of stock, and that's all I know about it. The stock looks like it's washed out down here, so it looks like a good spot to buy it. To me, it looks like it's settled in here, and it's a good trade from here. That's all I know.
Well, thank you.
I had my daughter pay $380 for it.
Not legal advice posts that he's an expert on bad jokes.
Oh, he's not an expert. He's
kidding, Sherlock.
He's number one. He's not even. There's no one even second a mile before the next person.
He's in his own tier.
Yeah, so GDC, I know nothing about the company. I don't know what they do. I was told to own it. Looks like it wants to go. That's about all I know in that stock. That's it.
One person is saying
it's a different story. I know everything about it. I follow everything about it.
GME, they're saying they're expecting a great update next week. One person is pointing out it could be insider buys, but also the shorts could be baiting us. But she says she thinks GME is going to run soon. I don't know.
So if anyone owns GameStop and they own it like at 13, 14, if you're lucky, of $15, or you own it at $17, you can actually sell it and then just take the profit, whatever you got left. And you can go buy a 20 call or 19 call for 70 cents for next week, whatever it is. So this way you don't take that risk. You got back 3-4 points. If you're even or up, maybe you can rotate out of the stock, buy a cheap call if you still want to be there. And that'll buy you sometimes the stock drops back down to 15. And if you sold it at 17.23, you can always buy it back down 2 points lower.
Say that again with some numbers. Where's GME trading?
It's trading at 17.25.
So your point is if people bought it below or even higher.
Yeah, you might, the stock's up $3-4, right?
Right.
So obviously the way to protect your profit is you could sell it. Let's say you paid $14, you're up 3 points on it, right?
Right.
You put $3 in your pocket. You can spend 50 cents to buy a call. Pick a stupid call, doesn't make a difference. And this way you're still involved without putting all your money at risk in the stock. If you sold it at 17 and a quarter, it drops to 15, you can always buy it back, right? If you want to be in the stock. So that is equivalent to selling the RIP. We got a RIP, 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 it goes up, and you buy the dip. No one has an idea why this thing is up. None of us know. To me, it looks like shorts are trying to cover.
So here's
maybe Ryan Cohen did buy stock or is buying stock as an insider purchase. I don't know why he would not. He's made.
Well, do you think in general shorts get their bonuses the same way long funds do? They have to close the position before the end of the year to get their bonus, or is that not how it works?
You can't. Yeah, if you don't close out your position, you still have an open position. That's still a liability.
So maybe it's just closing positions to get paid.
That's what I'm saying. Unless you have great knowledge of what the hell's going on, my advice to you would be to flip it if you're up at 2 or 3 points. If you still want to be involved, buy a cheap call, and you don't have to look at it anymore. $2, you spend 50 cents on a call, you plus $1.50 in profit, and don't look back. If the stock drops back down, you can jump back in. That's all.
I think that's a pretty cool bit of advice.
We don't have any opportunities in Fingerbush because every time the stock goes up, you smash it back down as fast as they can.
So here's a question on Finger, and this gentleman's a loyal listener. He came in a little late.
It's okay.
But he's asking, do you think the drop in Finger's price was to try to shake out longs before some covering begins?
Yeah. I just told you.
Our Tuck, sorry for the short answer. Sometimes he's brief.
They obviously attacked it this morning, right?
Yeah.
You saw the attack. Everyone, I don't know if you've seen it, but people put up some beautiful shots of the attack.
I didn't see it.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
What's the name? Put one up. Trading Henry. 5-minute candles. It went from 435 this morning. It went down to below 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles. Bang, 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 straight down. No one sells stock like that. Think about losing 40 cents on 100,000 shares. It's $40,000.
I lost track with this one. Any developments with Dan Bongino?
So So it's Dan Bongino.
Yeah, I got it
And for
wrong.
those-
I got it wrong. Not the guy.
He was a former Secret Service guy. He knows the other Secret Service people. That's what the relationship is. That's what I went to see him about, to put them all together. Bada-room. They don't tell you what's going on. They don't. I can't. When they tell me to shut up, I can't talk about it anymore. That's it.
But that didn't scare little Bill, did it? Oh, sorry.
We went to the highest authorities we can go to. And if I wasn't feeling under the weather, we'd be in South Korea with the regulators there trying to get companies to leave the U.S. and relist there.
And I'd go buy a condo made of glass and stay there. No, just kidding.
Okay.
There's rumors Ryan Cohen said that he's thinking about going private, but I don't know what stock that is. Is it GameStop? I have no idea which one.
That's the only. He's the CEO of GameStop.
I mean, I think I've suggested it in a couple of situations. One way to catch out the whole system is going private, but there's no real way to participate in the ensuing. Think of Dole Foods. There wasn't a short squeeze. Well, you would remember. Was there a short squeeze in Dole Foods?
No, I didn't remember until after it happened. That story came out, after it went private already. I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Listen, in case the guys you don't know, there's 10,000 stocks. I don't know anybody who knows them all. If they do know them all, they're lying to you.
One guy's pointing out, and he's right. It's the end of the month tomorrow. That could be the pressure. I don't know anything about VVOS.
Back to the end of the month again. I can't take
it's the end of the month tomorrow. So that could be it.
Yeah, maybe that's why they attacked.
June was able to buy at $3.98. That's the thing. Take the opportunity and turn when it's going against you, turn it into a positive. I think that's great. I don't know what's VVOS. It's up 5.
Everyone, listen, people, don't worry what other people are doing. Learn the stock market. If you believe in a stock and you see it dip like whatever it may be, that's when you step in. If you're nervous about it, you buy a little at a time. Instead of buying 1,000 shares, you buy 250. You buy 250 again. Like, let's say if you paid, I'll do finger motion for a second. Let's say you paid $4.25 for 250 shares. And all of a sudden the stock gets hit, you bought it at 250 shares. And if you say, okay, if it pulls back a little bit more, I can always buy another 250 at 375 or 350 if it gets to that level. That's how you tiptoe into a stock and you get an average price.
So
at least it gives you an opportunity to take advantage if the stock does sell off a little bit.
We were always trained to average in, buy half a position, buy a quarter position, and then buy the rest over time. So I think that's right. What you're saying is a good strategy.
It's a strategy that makes you feel comfortable when getting into a stock. Because I don't know, none of us know when exactly it's going to hit a bottom. All right? We don't know. I don't know. So I try to tiptoe in a little at a time. That's it. This way I feel better about it. And I can take advantage of it and not use all my money in one part of the trade and say, hurry up, get me in. I got to get in GameStop right now. It's up 3. Let me buy it all at, see if I would have sold it at 17.25 at 16.88. Now I can sit there. If I did pay 17.25 for GameStop, I can sit here and say, okay, I'll go buy a little bit more at 16.85 if it gets there. And that's how you average in, and you feel good about it because you're still in the game and you're still buying stock versus just jumping in and then watching it all day long because that'll drive you crazy.
I can't read all this. Somebody sent me a text. I'll read it later. So one gentleman has a tinfoil hat theory. Do you think Univest is waiting to make sure that the entire float is shorted in finger, not including the counterfeits, and therefore watching out for the fail to deliver?
If you're telling me you think that someone's going to borrow 20 million shares of stock, that's impossible.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have no idea what they're doing, and I don't know how they think, but they have more money than me, so I would consider them.
Do you have a computer in front of you?
Yes. What do you need?
Victor Oscar Sam.
Well, I wish I had that one. What did they get the cure for? What did they do?
I have no idea. The borrow rate is 117%.
117. We were at 300%. The stock is up $24 today. The high was $27. It is right at the high right now. I guess they shut it down. The average volume is 184,000. Finger Motion's volume has been dropping. It was over 1 million. Now we're down to 884. So we dropped about 120,000 a day. Because the volume, there's no selling. There's nothing going on. The only activity we're getting in the stock is what? The shorts washing trades or selling more. But a VVOS is why we're here. Again, if you can pick these names out, give them to me, because I don't know when they're going to go.
This is interesting. Sorry, I interrupted you. Sorry.
No problem. I'm just saying that I don't know when they're going to go. And I've been following these other names, and they just got shorted to hell, and now became like a fist fight with these idiots.
Kitty's is saying the speculation with GME is that Ryan Cohen is building out some kind of Asian-style lateral conglomerate with GME and other companies under his new company, Gmerica. Icon might be involved along with other big names. That's interesting. That would certainly make it go up.
Now that makes sense. Carl Icahn hates the shorts. The guy he was in Bed Bath & Beyond, Ryan Cohen, he hates the shorts. He made money in GameStop. He made money in Bed Bath & Beyond. And I said that when he joined GameStop, I believe that that's the only guy I would bet on because he's here for the short, squeeze short, right?
Yep.
So maybe he's figuring out a different angle how to do it now, and he's bringing the big boys in here. So listen, if you look at GameStop, again, go to Yahoo, hit GameStop on Yahoo, and then just go look at the holders on the bottom. It's got all the information. Right now, the percentage of float held by institutions is 33%. It's been going sideways for a while now. When I reported on GameStop, that number was 270%. It's 33%. So all the funds that bought it and reported on it all sold out. When you see that number start to go up again, that's when I would buy the stock.
Mark Maddox is saying the theory is that Ryan Cohen et al. Are going to fold GME, Sears, Toys R Us, Lego, and others into a competitor for Amazon. Good luck, I say to that. I think.
Well, listen,
have you seen the woman he married? They can never compete. I'm just kidding.
If they stop selling to Amazon and delivering it to, selling it to Amazon, then they have a chance. But other than that, who knows? So listen, whatever it is. Hey, that's what the game is about.
So Kitties Never Die is all in on GME. So, Kitties, when I've been skeptical about it, because I think GME, AMC, the big boys have it under control. When it rallies, they're going to get it back down. But don't listen to me if you have a good sense of it. But I would tend to want to take my profits.
What I always do is I sell the rips. I could have sold it at 17 1/4. It's 16.50. So if I sold it, bought some cheap calls, My calls will be down a little bit, but then I can sit back and buy the stock back down 75 cents and get the same position again. Remember, you don't have to stand like the Statue of Liberty when you buy a stock. If it starts trading around, it just dropped to 16 and a quarter. So we could have sold it at 17. Now you made $1 at it. That's why you take it and people on Wall Street trade them. That's what they do. So don't be afraid to do it. It won't bite you. If you're afraid you're going to miss out on the opportunity of a lifetime, you can always buy some options. They do expire, so you understand what they're doing. But again, that's a good way to play. Keep your toe in the game, and yet you're still and you're putting profit in your pocket. Big emotion, we don't get that opportunity because as soon as the stock comes up, boom, they start bashing it back down. And then we get phone calls from that stooge today trying to buy someone's position. All right. And for the gentleman, again, doesn't like his friend's name and number, whatever his name is, Terry, whatever that his name.
I don't know.
Tell him stop calling people and leave his name and number everywhere. That's what you do.
That's the kind of thing Charlie Mayo did.
Charlie Mayo did the same thing, I'm sure. I'm sure he got the Medal
Speaking
of
of
Honor.
stooges,
I'm sure he got the Medal of Honor in the Kramer's headquarters for being the biggest dope ever, leaving his name in voicemail, and everyone has it. And I assure you that once our friends, our new regulatory friends, regulators, or enforcement people, let's use that term, they will be listening to Charlie Mayo also, because it's nice to hear the voices of the criminals, right, and how they think.
oh God.
Hey, this is Charlie Mayo. I'm your friend. Remember me? Me and the boys are working on some numbers. We want to do a deal.
Hey, Reiki.
Right.
I could do without hearing that guy's
we
voice.
want to do a deal. Right. The company is enticing these people. Meanwhile, they're calling all the time, trying to lure people in to make a mistake. That's what they do.
Yeah. So going back to the trip that has been postponed, Peter's asking.
I only postponed it because I don't feel well, and I don't want to be walking to an airport in Asia, getting my temperature taken, and getting yanked off the line and then disappear for a couple of days into whatever they call it there.
The gulag?
Whatever. I've seen it before, and it's pretty nerve-wracking when I went to China and they're taking people's temperatures. And you have a temperature, they just tell you to walk this way, and you see the people disappear. You're like, what happened to them? I have no idea. So I'm not feeling well. My daughter's not feeling well. I guess she gave it to me, and to play it safe.
It might be your grandson gave it to her, gave it to you.
That's what we're afraid of. So, but that's to play it safe. Let's move it back a few days. I felt under the weather the last 2 days, and I didn't feel any better today. So I said, you know what? Let me just postpone it. And
maybe your hair's growing back and your body needs extra energy.
Who knows? But whatever it is, that's the only reason I postponed it. And what am I supposed to do? That's what you have to do.
So do you? I don't know. I'll just read the question. What is a reasonable time frame for GTII to move to South Korea's exchange if the process were to go smoothly? Thanks a lot in advance.
It's a very easy process. I went through all the regulatory stuff for my business plan to do it to Abu Dhabi. I have the business plan. I have it all set up. And this is a little tidbit. Let's say everyone on this phone call has a company, and the one question you're going to say, let's say GTI does go. Everyone else is going to say, you know what, I would love to join that exchange, but, my company's based in the U.S. Who's going to know what we do in the U.S. because we're now in China or in South Korea? Well, we're going to build out a financial news network like CNBC, and we will cover our own stocks. We would cover them all. Besides the U.S. stocks, we would make sure any company that lists on the exchange over there will get prominent coverage on our TV show in the U.S. So let's say it's GTII, their earnings come out, the CEO can come on, tell his story. We will cover them. We will give them more coverage than they have in the U.S. The U.S. has no coverage. Bloomberg, Reuters, no one covers any of these stocks. The only coverage any small cap company gets here is Benzinga putting up a fake story bashing you into the ground. That's the coverage. That's the benefit of being in the U.S. That's what you get here.
I love it. I love it.
if we get to South Korea, I can create a worldwide financial news network, and we can go 24 hours a day. We can cover the U.S. markets, and we will cover any small company that leaves to help build out the exchange over there. That's the business plan.
We'll cover the waterfront. Let me ask a couple of questions, if I can remember from yesterday, about the mechanics. If, for example, GTII were to make the move, first they would retire all of their stock here, right? So is that how it works?
You fill out a Form 25, all your stock will be retired, and you get new shares in the new world. That's it.
So the point is that there's no manipulation the shorts can do. The stock is going private, basically, here, and then it's
short seller. Someone who told me, who knows knowledge of the short, said, "Oh, they'll just put up a tracking stock," meaning like they did with MMTLP, create a new symbol.
Right.
And I said that would be great if they did that, because we have the federal authorities watching them do it. We're going to be ahead of that curve if they try to do something like that. Okay. And if the stock's trading at $5 in South Korea, what's the tracking stock going to be here? A nickel? So who would sell it here at a nickel when you could sell it at $5 in Korea?
And then the fact of moving to 5 starts the short squeeze, because everybody, the back offices are losing money.
If we took a stock, okay, now this is just make believe, so just go with me on this. If we took this stock, let's say it was a small company, let's say a company had 2 million shares, and we know someone owns all the shares. We can move it to Korea, and the stock here is $1. We can turn around and say, hey, make the stock $20. We know we own all the shares, no one can sell any, so what's the difference, right?
Oh.
It'll just destroy any short seller here because they can't hold the price down.
There'd be no arbitrage. So, I mean, the arbitrage would be going against them.
You can't short it. You can't do anything.
But would there be a squeeze into going into the retirement of the shares?
It'll happen. It'll happen before.
And one thing is, once it works in one company, Wall Street will discount it in an instant, each new company we bring over. That's the thing. By discounting, I mean they'll predict that it's going to be bad news for the shorts very quickly the second time.
That'll spread like wildfire.
Yeah, exactly. So you've got a couple of questions on GDC again. It says you mentioned it last night.
Yes, so. I mentioned it 65 times. I know the symbol, GDC. I had my daughter buy it at $3.80. Friends of mine bought a ton of it at $4.15. People I respect, they tell me that there's something coming that's going to make this stock explode. What it is, boy, I know it's Christmas. I have no idea.
I thought you recommended Vocal to her too. She's still listening?
Oh, my daughter hates me. Because I have to hear it all night long. When's it going to go? You said it's going to go. When's it going to go? When's it going to go? What did they do? I said, I don't know. Just go look at it. I have no idea.
All right. This gentleman, putting on the devil's advocate hat, what's in it for the South Koreans? How do they benefit?
Well, if you want me to go through the business plan, here you go. You ready?
Yep.
Number one, they start getting companies listed from the U.S. over there. We can actually force and have public companies in the U.S. have a office in Korea. Right. So now we take up office space. We can actually have a public company need to hire 2 Korean people, maybe a secretary or someone to be shareholder relations to work with the Korean investors. So now we're creating opportunities, education about the U.S. markets. We have U.S. public companies there. And now they get a flavor of all this new type of companies. We can get their brokerage firms can start doing investment banking deals with the public companies that are there. So we create a new Wall Street for them, right?
Right.
So if you're a good company, you don't need to get funded from a U.S. hedge fund trying to steal your money. You can get funded by a Korean money manager. Remember, you can't short the stock. So the only reason they would invest with you would be what? Because they think you're a good company. It changes the whole game, goes back to what Wall Street is about. Wall Street right now is about people giving you money, before they give you the money, they're shorting the stock. So they're just basically giving you your own shareholders' money back. That's all they're doing. No one's investing in a public company. The Kramers or Lynn, they make believe they're giving you money, but they're only giving you, they sell your stock before you even take the money. If you ever go into an office where there's someone's going to lend you money, the first thing they'll say to you, oh, we love your company. What's the volume of the shares? How many shares traded a day? That's all they ask. They could care less what you do. That's all they want to know. How many shares trades today? How many shares? That's all they want to know.
They just want to provide liquidity.
That's all they're doing.
So on GME, there are no cheap calls. To me, that means the stock's going up. But what do you think? It's still a good strategy. You take a $4 profit, you put $1.50 into some calls. You're still booking $2.50.
Right, they're cheap calls. I mean, I don't know if the calls when the expiration is December 1st. Is that this Friday?
December 1st is Friday. Yeah.
So you could have bought the today is what, Wednesday?
I learned it on the itinerary of our trip that I thought we were going on.
All right, stop calling. We don't want to tell you I got sick. You could buy December 8th calls, the 20s or so, the 18s for $1.30. So if you made it, you made $4, you spent $1.30, you're still involved. And you sold your stock. Now you don't sell your stock now because it's pulling back. You wait for the next rally. But if you think it's going to the moon, just close your eyes and don't look at it anymore. Listen, people, you can't be, if you're an investor in a company, don't kill yourself watching it all day. If you're nervous about it, if you own GameStop yesterday at $15, right? And you said, oh my God, I'm so nervous about this. You throw out a good to cancel order and you say, sell it at 17 if it gets there. Well, today it went to 17.5, you would have made the sale. And then you look at it and say, oh my God, I sold it at 17, I forgot. And I could buy it back at 16. This way you don't get consumed with it all day long, because during the day, what the hell could possibly happen with any public company? The only thing you're watching is for a number to go up and down, right? That's the only thing that's really trading, the only thing that makes any sense all day long. So unless you're trading it, all right? If you're not trading it, I walk away most of the day. I don't look at it anymore. I can't. I'm not here for the up and down 10 cents. It doesn't mean anything. $1 doesn't mean anything. VVOS is what I'm looking for. The stock is now 30.25.
VVOS.
Victor, Oscar, Sam.
Yeah.
Today's range is 987. Today just traded at 30.25 on 43 million shares.
They had some sort of approval, some FDAA approval.
Whatever it is. Do you think the approval is that every hedge fund, every institutional investor is going to chase it to the moon? These are shorts in the stock trying to cover, and they can't cover.
Right.
The 52-week range is $2 to 74. So the shorts who shorted it anywhere north of 50 or 40. If I shorted the stock between 40 and 74, and the stock is running like this, you're going to say, holy shit, I better cover because I'm going to be in the red soon. I went from the black, now I'm going to go into the red. Let me buy it back. What they're going to say, well, you can't buy it back. 30, pay $32 for it. I don't give a shit. Pay 40 for it. I'm short at $44. And that's how a short panics and covers.
Right.
I'm in the black. And I'll give you an example of that. GameStop, the high I think was, I'll just make a number of $40. They killed it down to 3 3/4. So those shorts are in the black. From $40 down to 3 3/4. When the GameStop movement happened, these guys were all in the black. So this thing started, they were in the black. And then all of a sudden the stock started raising up. And slowly but surely, everyone that was in the black now is in the red. And that's when they started to panic and cover. And that's what happens.
Right.
Does everyone understand that one?
They seem to.
If you're in a trade If you're in a trade, whether it's long or short, when you're in the black, you're all happy. As soon as the stock goes down a little bit more, like they're trying to do in finger motion, they're trying to get it into the red so they get you to panic. That's what they try to do every day. Move it down another quarter. People are starting to panic. They're getting nervous. I can hear it in their voices. I'm on Twitter. I can see it. Get those guys out there bashing it more. Get the pumpers out there. That's what they're at. Get the pumpers out there. Pump it up. We don't have to pump it up anymore. The company's on its own. Good luck. We got the federal authorities coming to look at you. Good luck with that. I'll stick with my position because I know what's coming.
Right.
There's no guarantees that they're going to grab somebody, but I like where I am. I like the spot where I am. I just know that Andrew Left doesn't like, he has sleepless nights knowing that the DOJ is after him. Well, that's what happens when you rob everybody. You know, you spread those false rumors all the time and destroy companies. Like Timothy Sykes, the other character. Timothy Sykes was posting that he helped kill that stock, SHOT, shot. He was bragging about it. We made tons of money here. How do you know to go to that stock? How do you know Capybara was coming out a research report? Who the hell follows Capybara? Oh, Capybara? What is that? Goldman Sachs? Who is Capybara? Are they the new Goldman Sachs? He's the Goldman Sachs of the criminals. That's what that is. And that's why they're doing it from Brazil.
Right.
Hey, Richard, it's not legal advice. Wasn't Capybara to respond by November 27th to Mark Bazile in the Southern District?
Let me see if he answers.
I forgot all about that.
Let me see if he answers. I got to write down now. Okay. I don't see an answer yet. Let me see what else you can.
Hey, Richard, when I was a kid, my parents moved a lot, but I always found them.
Is that Rodney Dangerfield?
Yeah.
He said they went to the beach. They went to the Coney Island. Do you want to go into the crazy house? Oh, let's just wait till we get home.
Wait till I get home. I remember that one.
All right, let me look. Let me go down to the bottom. I don't see a oh, no, maybe. He said yes. I don't remember
perfect,
the question.
Richard. Thank you very much.
Wow.
There you go, Richard. I haven't spoken to my wife in years. I didn't want to interrupt her.
My wife and I only.
Richard, read these jokes. Richard, read these jokes on your show. What do you think? There's hundreds of them.
My wife and I made an agreement to only have sex after we smoked a cigarette or something like that.
Yeah, I'm up to 2 packs a day now.
She's up to 2 packs a day. I still have the same pack from 1970.
But so anyway, Capybara was supposed to respond to Mark Bazile, I think November 27th. Today is the 29th or 30th. I don't even know. Today's the 29th. So I guess we're 2 days late on that. Richard, if you have anything about that information, please pass it on. So see, people, I remember them as we go along, just like you do. I don't know the information. I just, as it comes along, for some strange reason, I remember that only because of Capybara and their other criminal activities attacking SHOT, which Mark Bazile's on. Mark Bazile just got hired by Frank Benedetto's company at ASRE. And listen, Frank Benedetto, you would like him, hate him, do what you want, but the guy's helping bringing exposure to naked shorts. That's all I care about. All right. I don't know about the companies he follows. I have nothing to do with it. He's a good guy. I met him, and he's got Mark Bazile attacking the criminals. That ASRE was naked shorted by the Kramers with a debenture, the same status with GTII, the same thing. They paid it off. They got them trapped. And, again, I don't know much about it. I don't know the numbers. I don't track it. But, again, it's the same pattern. And the more companies that do this stuff, the better it is for everybody here. You could see, just look at this trading in Finger. They take the stock as soon as you take it, it moves up to 22 offer, 422 offer. In a second, someone's back down to 1,300 shares for sale.
Is it true that VVOS is showing a $50 bid right now? I mean, look, it's a trusted source. I don't think he's.
It stopped trading. It was 35 when it stopped again. So people, when you talk about a short squeeze, VVOS is up 696% from a $10 point today. That's why we're here.
No, the close yesterday was $4.39. It opened at $11.93.
Okay, so that was the high. So imagine being long that stock.
Now it starts trading 37. It's 38, 39.
It's 39, yeah.
I wish I owned this one. Why do you guys listen to us? Why don't you just buy VVOS?
Yeah, let's go get it.
39. Oh man, that's how it happens though. Look at that.
This is how it happens. And that's why you need to put your orders out there as it's going up. A good till canceled order. It's called a GTC. George, Tom, Charlie. Pick a number, throw it out there, whatever makes you happy. And when the stock rips one day, you make your sale. You never have to worry about trying to get in there and saying, I missed it. All right? Imagine you just had it out there at $39. It was $39 or just stopped trading again at $39.71. But you would have been, you can't trade at $39.71 unless they take your offer at $39. You understand that? The stock cannot go higher unless it goes through your price, and you have to get a report. All right, so everyone's got a taste of a short squeeze today. You can see that's what the game is about. Again, ours is better because listen, I say it's better because of security fraud. These guys have dug a hole so deep. There's no way. What you're seeing in VVOS, it'll be like, we'll be rocketing past that in a second. That's how fast ours is going to go.
But look how quickly that happened. That didn't take very long.
So, I mean, that's how it happens. There's nothing else I could say. That's what the game is about. If you want to play fundamentals, go buy NVIDIA. Go buy NVIDIA, go buy, I wouldn't say Tesla or at Apple. You want to go buy Apple, go follow what's his name? Warren Buffett and his friends in Apple. Right, I'm not going to get rich playing Apple, so that's not my game.
A legal lesson from not legal advice. If whoever that crappy Barra person is does not respond, Mark can enter a default and get a judgment entered. I assume
they have not responded. They have not responded, or he doesn't know if they don't.
I assume they have a cure period, but still, that would be huge.
Yeah, so basically, they're in Brazil. We know they're not going to respond, right? We know that.
Because they're just an LLC, right?
I don't know if I think he had the personal name of the guy. I couldn't remember what he said. I can't remember. He said it was a Brazilian guy. I don't know who it is.
Well, a Brazilian here and a Brazilian there.
Listen,
it starts to add
that's
up.
the research. That's the U.S. research capital of the world now is Brazil. If you don't think that's crazy, but I never heard of that in my life, that someone in Brazil is writing research reports on companies, negative research reports, and they have that much power to move a stock. Obviously, it's tied to a network of criminals, and that's what they're doing.
They halted trading again in VVOS.
I don't like to look at things.
Mark Maddox is saying level 2 is showing a $70 bid. That's how quickly. And see if right now you can't buy. Anyway, That's, you have to own it to win, I guess. You've got to
That's how it works. And that's why
in it to
in
win it.
single motion and in GTII, the opportunity is what we've been documenting for a long time. We're not documenting this quietly behind the door. We put the numbers on a truck in front of the SEC. We've called the SEC. We put the truck out there 12 or 13 times. We went to the federal authorities. We went to the Secret Service. We went to the FBI. We went to the SEC. I think you consider this not being, we're not going about this in a quiet way. All right? It's very different. And the criminals are so trapped here that they're actually popping their heads out trying to cover. And that's why you got the call today. And again, that circles back to the call. And that's the game. These calls don't happen in these type of names. GTII used to get the calls all the time from people wanting to give them money. And the company stood tall, didn't take the money. Everyone else takes the money and reverses their stocks and goes on about their life. They couldn't care less. And that's why I've stayed around, because companies have done the right thing. If they've done the wrong thing, see you later. I can't do anything about it. Right? Remember, we had a company that we were following that did the wrong thing. He just kept diluting it, doing what he had to do. And that was who? Focal, right? Whatever his name was.
The average volume is 30,000. They've done 43 million shares today.
Listen, I don't know why they stopped trading these things, but they just let them roast them alive. That's what they deserve. Whoever's short that stock is going to get roasted alive.
I hope so.
They're trying to cover in a panic. And there's no
So this guy's asking, what's going on right now behind the scenes with VVOS? 43, it just started trading, 43. Are there phone calls going on? Are there massive?
Oh God, are you kidding me?
Yeah, what's it like?
Control. It's in a panic.
Couldn't happen to a better group of guys.
You can't. This is what it's about. All right. I don't know where it stops, how high it goes. I know nothing about it. You told me the symbol 20 minutes ago. That's all I know.
45. It's up 42. It's up almost as much as it's trading for. It's unbelievable. It's up 42 and it's trading at 46 now. That's not a lot of volume change. Not a lot of volume change.
They can't cover it.
Unbelievable.
Right? That's what it is.
That's unbelievable. 44 million shares. Last trade 42 and a half. So what do you think happens in it over until the close?
No, that's obvious. Someone's in a listen. This is how shorts cover. I told you that. They're gonna run in, take it up 10 points, then drop it real quick, and then they come back and scoop up. That's what they do. That's how shorts cover.
Right.
They just can't keep showing strength and strength and strength and strength and strength, because that's what they're doing right now. There's nothing here.
Right.
But someone's getting a call, going to be bought in, so they're trying to do it themselves before they give it to the executioner. The prime broker is probably saying, hey, you got to put up 10 million. You got 10 minutes to get it here. You got 5 minutes. We don't have it. Buy it in. That's what they're doing. You got to put up another 20 million. I don't have it. Buy it in. That's it. That's all the time.
So on the GTII dividend, do people have to call and report to the FBI or SEC if their shares still are not?
Just keep track of what you have in your documentation. And there'll be a time where some lawyer that's going to put it up on Twitter and say, okay, everybody who has GTII, didn't get your dividends, just report to me. And there'll be someone who'll take all the information down, and then they can go after them.
Wow.
You got to let them commit the crime first, right?
VV0S or whatever it is, according to Ocean Sailing, was $360 dollars over the last 3 years. It's probably got a lot more
Well,
stock out.
Well, I don't know what they did, but anyway, it doesn't make it. Again, this is what a short squeeze looks like. And if, like I said before, if I was shorted $50 and the stock's now, I thought it was going to zero, and now it's rallied always back up here, 40 points in one day, you sit there and say, hey, close out this position. I can't take it anymore.
Right.
I don't want to turn it into a complete loser, right? That's what happens. Don't get consumed with these things. As long as you understand this is what it looks like, this is all you need to know. Find your own stock. I followed Finger Motion and GTII. That's what I follow. And that's it. And I sit here and you wait. And when it goes, it goes. If you owned 1 million shares, I'm just making up the number. Imagine owning 1 million shares of Finger at 4, and you wake up tomorrow, it's 50.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same sort of price range. It closed at 4 something, 439 yesterday.
I'm just saying that's why there's big players here that own a lot of stock, because they know that this is going to happen. That's it.
Right.
The bigger picture is getting companies to delist from the U.S. and delist in South Korea. That's the whole business plan. And from that leads to a financial news show. So owning a venture exchange in South Korea, which I would love to be in charge of, and come back to the U.S. and just solicit companies to go list there. We would have a greeting team on the ground in South Korea, say, hey, you need to open an office here. You need to maintain 2 employees here. So now there's people, and you have to have your corporate, your shareholder meetings. You have to have it, the company would have to go there. So there's travel involved, hotels involved, and maybe you're renting an apartment there. And all of a sudden you're building a new Wall Street in South Korea, one that is protected by the regulators.
Right.
And each day they can make fun of the U.S. every day. Just trust me. The companies, and once you land a whale, let's say everything's going great and we land a whale and you land Tesla. He's had enough of the SEC. He did list here, he lists there. It's a global company, right? He doesn't need to be listed in the U.S.
Yeah.
What is the U.S. market doing for him? Nothing. They just abuse him. Right? Leave. Don't have any short selling. If you get a whale, leave the U.S. and go there, then it's all over with. I think I can assemble a team of salespeople that can knock on every door and get people to actually leave this country. Once you put the plan together with the benefits, the pros, the cons, and what's required of them to be listed there, it'll go. Yeah, I think we can get 500 companies in a year. And anybody who wants to do a reverse merger or whatever, you can reverse in the U.S. and then file to leave. So go public here and then leave. After shorts and then leave.
It looks like they did a reverse split in October, 1 for 27. So I guess that 330 has to be divided by 27. So the 3-year high was $12. So they're already through that. They blasted through that.
Well, again, you look at it, Finger Motion. Does anyone on this phone believe they ever cover any shares? Because I don't see it.
There are people out there that think that they cover, but I'm not one of them.
They do think that they cover?
I'm not one of them.
Anyone who thinks that they cover, please leave your name and number, William. I want to sell you, there's a bridge in Brooklyn that I can sell you.
There's not a bridge in Brooklyn that I'd want to buy.
You can put your own toll booth on it if you like.
Maybe a bridge in Shanghai I would buy, brand new.
Right, but again, if you think they're covering, you're out of your bird. The data, the proof, the real short, everything shows you that they don't cover anything. So if you think they cover today, how about this? I'll put it in street language for you. Pull it down to below 4. All right, so they attacked it first, and then they came in and paid up to 420 or 433. They paid back up to 4.25. So they lost money selling it down, then they lost money buying it back up. Yeah, right. They don't cover because they can't cover. And
Jennifer will be the head of sales to help move companies overseas.
there's a lot of great people here. I appreciate it, and I agree with you. This will be a $1 billion opportunity. This could be, if you ever look at it, if anybody wants to see what I'm talking about, go Google what an exchange is worth. I think that someone bought the Milan Stock Exchange. I can't remember who bought it.
Just Google what is a 24-hour media company worth.
That's worth billions. That would be acquired by no time. I can't remember what is the Middle East, what is the phone? Yeah, the New York Stock Exchange is worth 26. What the hell is it worth? The market capitalization of $26 trillion. That's 2,400 companies listed on it.
Amazing.
I mean, that you don't understand how valuable, and the reason is because you get the license to operate. If I would have got the license to operate in Abu Dhabi, it would have been worth $1 billion day one, the day I get the license, because then you got the government to give you the license. That's the most important thing. So if South Korea wants to give us a license to operate a venture exchange and listing all companies outside of South Korea, we can list them on our exchange. All right. What would that be worth? I guarantee if we get 500 companies on there that the South Korean exchange would buy our venture exchange from us, and that'd be worth easily $1 billion to $5 billion, easy. And all that is would be sales. So imagine having 30, 40 salespeople work in the country, and in 3 years we sell it back to the Korean Stock Exchange for a couple of $1 billion, and everybody gets a cut of that for working with the company. That's how you get rich. And it's nice and easy. You don't have to worry about trading. You don't have to do anything. And if you understand what's going on, you can see how fast the U.S. would melt if we would throw them under the bus every day. And they deserve it.
They would try to put somebody from Goldman Sachs in charge, but we wouldn't let it happen.
No. Anyway, all right. So is that good enough for today, everyone?
I think there are no more questions unless it suddenly comes up.
All we need is Richard. We need Richard to get in touch with Mark Bazile to find out what happened with Capybara. What's the outcome of that? If Richard could somehow reach out to Mark Bazile, maybe Busy Brands can help him out with that, and get an update on that, and we can get that posted.
You're not
But
the
again,
boss of him.
Going back to the phone call, the short seller called DeLong. DeLong said, take a walk. We got his number. We got his name. The stooge, okay, for the gentleman from Canada that's defending his friend, he's a stooge. He's a broker. We know what he's about. We know he's not the short seller. So, again, we know that. But who is he representing? Who is he representing to buy stock for? That's what the federal authorities are going to ask him. And when he starts to stumble, he's going to have to give up whoever told him to call them up. That's it. And let them take it to the next person. That's how it works. That's the investigation. All right? It can't be any easier than that. I'm sure the federal authorities got a kick out of it, getting a guy with his number asking about the stock. I mean, that's it. Where do we start? Why don't you call this guy up? Here you go. If you don't know where to start, here's one. And if you want more, you can call Charlie Mayo up and ask him.
Yeah.
So again, that's how this whole thing works.
So 36.
And DVOS went the high as whatever, $47, I think it was.
$48.79.
So imagine you put out a good till cancel order at 42. It went screaming through it, and now it's back to 36. And you say, oh my God, I put it out there and I sold it at 42. I had that good till cancel order. That's what it's about. When it's in a fast trading stock like this, you need to put good till cancel orders in.
Pretty awesome.
Right? That's why I explained it to you 1,000 times.
Pretty awesome.
All right.
Okay.
I'm going to go down and sit down and watch the rest of the Squid Games with my son. So anyway, listen, everyone, have a great night. And I'll take my my cough drops and my cup of tea and try to relax.
Thank you,
All right,
Ham.
everyone.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Call ended.
All right. A Brazilian here and a Brazilian there. Oh, I didn't see that yet. Not. I'll let him know. So you did send an inquiry as he asks. I guess he is the boss of you. Just kidding. Santa conference in New York. I have no idea. I don't understand the value of that, but I assume it's a big deal. Oh, here, thousands of people will be dressing up. I see. That's true. But it'll take a while. It would take a while. They believe their own spit. I wouldn't pay. I would just say I'm not paying. Okay. We've got about 20 minutes to the close. Let's see here.
For those of you,
I go to more and I go here. You know, Charlie Munger died, and he's the partner with Warren Buffett, 99 years old. And you can look it up, but it's interesting, some of his advice, and I think some of it applies to us. Warren Buffett said to him, you don't, no, he said, you have an idea why people are so, they don't get the point. And Munger said, if people weren't so often wrong, we wouldn't be so rich. I love this one. He said, any presentation using the word EBITDA, you should just substitute the phrase, BS. Yeah, projections when you see PowerPoints, I don't like them. And he talks about cryptocurrencies. He said, I don't think there are any good arguments against my position. I think the people who oppose my position are idiots. That sounds like me, doesn't it? I'm skipping over a bunch of them. There's a couple that I want. There's just one or two I wanted to. He says it's perfectly obvious to him that derivative accounting in America, to say that it's a sewer is an insult to sewage. He doesn't understand companies losing $2 or $3 billion a year going public. Again, he talks negatively about crypto. I love this. The money management, investment advisors, the general system for money managers requires people to pretend that they can do something that they can't do and then pretend to like it when they really don't. It's a really terrible way to spend your life, but it's very well paid. I can't give you a formulaic approach because I don't use one. If you want a formula, you should go back to graduate school. They'll give you a lot of formulas which don't work. And he says Samuel Johnson famously said, I can give you an argument, but I can't give you understanding. He said for himself, speaking about what he needed to get ahead was to compete against idiots. And luckily, there was a large supply. Anyway, there's more, but I guess I would have to play it. So I'll do that later. I didn't get to the ones I wanted to share with you. Where's Skinny Whale's picture? Oh, I got a nice text from her husband. Yeah, ocean sailing. Let's see where CAUD is trading. My dog is sleeping, snoring. 167, pretty good volume. You know, they sold a lot of stock that didn't exist. And at some point, they need to cover it. Maybe this is what's happening. Small cap investing put out a post on CAUD. Lots of people are noticing today's chart action. It's a reversal on rising volume and a MACD crossover. The CEO bought 190,000 shares at just 2 weeks ago. Possibly we get more fundamental news this week, and then a management interview with yours truly. And then Wall Street Trap Star wrote about CAUD. What's not to like about this chart? A Heikin-Ashi candle, whatever that is. Chart going green, MACD crossover, and very bullish. So anyway, I don't know, Ocean. I do expect that once the quiet period is over, and I don't know how long that lasts, they can announce new management as a start. They might be able to announce a strategy, you know, their going forward plan, and possibly, you know, I'm speculating here, but possibly they've raised some plain vanilla money, which they can use over the next 2 to 3, 4 months to roll up the 3 or 4 or 5 companies they've been talking to all along. So there could be dramatic coalescing around a really nice story soon. And I intend to have Brent's son and I hope a new CEO on this call for you as soon as this weekend. And now that my trip is canceled or postponed, maybe first part of next week. All right, so there doesn't seem to be, well, I'll hang around for 15 minutes, but it doesn't seem to be a lot of questions. I guess I know where I stand in the pantheon of short sellers. Hamster comes first. Let's see where VVOS is trading. 38. So they seem to have it under reasonable control, but man, we'll see how it trades tomorrow, won't we? We shall see. It's not canceled, it's just delayed. It's just not happening this Sunday. Ham talked about it. He's not feeling well, and he doesn't want to travel into Southeast Asia, where he's telling me in the airports, they take your temperature, they check and see how you're feeling. And if you're not healthy, they quarantine you. So it's not canceled, it's just delayed. I don't know how long until he feels better. Maybe it's next week or maybe it's a couple of weeks. I don't know. Not trying to be negative, but I'm losing faith in GTII and FNGR. Really, the whole market is right. Yeah, it is. Of the two, if you want to focus on losing your religion, that's me in the corner. I don't know. It's hard to pick. But if you want to throw both out, that's your choice. I think of the two, FNGR has a lot going for it, but GTII potentially has the huger, it has the larger problem for the shorts. But anyway, if you're negative, you're losing faith. There's nothing like getting out at the end of the year. You get to write off, if you're losing money, you get to write off the losses against gains or your income and start the new year with a new idea. I think FNGR is my best idea for a stock to buy and accumulate just for fundamental reasons. And if a short squeeze came in, that would be incredible. My second one to buy, believe it or not, right now is CAUD. And I'm working on another, which you all know, but see if the CEO will work with me, come on and give an interview. But I think CAUD could have a nice run to 7.5 and maybe as high as $15 in just a minor snapback rally based on the things I said to, was it Skinny Wheel? But I think all of our stocks are going to be under pressure for tax loss selling. So yeah, you don't have to hang on. There's no, I understand it. It's been a long 2 years, 1 year. I think FNGR and GTI both were squeezing until one of the gentlemen that Ham thinks very highly of, I trust Ham's judgment, I've never met the guy, made a mistake in my judgment, getting everyone to go over to to Cosmo. But, you can't relive it. Life is, you can't, it's not a laboratory there. But I think the heat was on a year ago, and we've been fighting for another year because the criminals got their life back when we popped our own bubble and went and bought Cosmo. We did it collectively. And then they just jumped on, they piled on. And it's been a long fight to get it back. And Code Red, you got to do what's right for you. Fingers up on the year still. GTII, I think, is actually down for the year. So, there's liquidity in both. And, if you want to switch, take your tax losses. One stock that right now I think at $1.60 CAUD, I think you could see over the next 90 days or so as much as 10 times your money. And if it's a squeeze, it could go back to 25-30 as a trade. But if you want to buy a stock where over the next 18 months, 2 years, 2.5 years, CAUD, it could be $50. So, but I agree with you. The whole market is rigged. Silver, I would recommend buying physical silver, having it delivered to your home. Don't tell anybody about it. I think you could not only make all the money back that you've lost, but you could kick butt sometime soon. I personally think silver is going to go to a 1-for-1 ratio with gold. But even if it just went to 10-for-1, 8-for-1, but I think it's going to go for 1-for-1. Not right away. I mean, we're talking investing here, not trading. And I have one other idea, but I want to talk to the CEO first before I get all gung ho. But I think you can move stocks where you have losses into other stocks, which others here know. And I think at least you'll have a January effect. Maybe it bleeds into February where you can make, 2 or 3x or even just 50% and start again. So I'm sorry you're losing faith. I think it's totally and completely normal. I think it's totally normal. But there's no requirement. You can listen to me and Ham. There's no requirement that you have to hold the stock. None at all. There's no diamond hands. And there's other opportunities out there. The market is completely fraud. Absolutely fraud. GTII released dividends. I wouldn't pay. GTII sent a letter to each market maker, to each broker dealer, authorizing a lifting of the legend. But that doesn't mean they're not going to put a processing charge in there. But I wouldn't pay it. I wouldn't pay it. There's no need to. And look, CB, they don't have the stock. They don't have the shares. And they're just, I don't know. I might pay $150 if I had a lot of stock. I might pay $150. You've been doing all your trades nearly for free. $300 though is a lot. And I would really say this should just be a matter of course. There's stock after stock where you haven't had to pay anything. Show me that this is your standard procedure in all dividends. I think it's bogus, but I might go ahead and pay the $150. They don't have your shares, Mark Ryder. That's my opinion. Dumb Money, I didn't watch that. I guess I got to find out where I can watch that. Thank you, Ocean Sailing. Yeah, Code Red. As my friend in London said, to me. I'm sure you've heard it before, but he's the one that told me. It's always darkest before things go totally black. But it's funny in can't wait till I can't wait till I improve my service to you guys. But it's funny in markets, just when you want to give up, that might be an indication of when it turns. On the other hand, your gut instinct might be, hey, I've had enough of this. I just don't want to think about it anymore. And that's okay. That's okay. One thing you can do with finger is sell calls against your position instead of selling it. But just as you do that, it might run. See, I think you're onto it, Mark Ryder. They don't use that term. Of course they don't use that term. Not on tape. Let me just check something. Let me just check something. Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay. Good for you. You took the tax loss on GTII. Good. And remember, if you've already taken it, 31 days later, you can buy back that half. And if you've already done it, it's probably only 2 weeks away or whenever. XRP has made up for that loss. Look, I had wanted, once we had some gains, I like XRP and I like the other one I mentioned, but Lou gives very good advice on XRP, and he probably has a much more detailed information than I do. Yeah, they are very strict at the Asian airports, and he's been there recently, so I understand his reasoning. I do. It'd be hell to be treated like Novak Djokovic, flying into Australia and get quarantined in a hellhole. I can ask Bran about the other 2/3, Tim. Personally, I hope they wait. I don't know the race to liquidate, because if everybody can sell, it keeps the pressure down. But reasonable minds can disagree. It's set up for 11 months. That's in the what do you call it? The S whatever it was. Anyway, that's in the SEC filing that the SEC approved. The whole idea was to let us have some shares so we wouldn't destroy the market cap, and the rest would come in almost a year later. But unfortunately, they did business with this group, or one of the group, with ASPA. ASPA was likely funded by criminal shorts, and then the so-called investment banker, just a face, they did a deal with, and then the criminals just destroyed the market cap anyway. It's so disgusting. But right now it's 11 months, Tim Grant. There's nothing to ask. But I can ask him. There's rumors that he's going to try to get that released sooner. My own advice, Tim, they should leave it alone, wait 11 months or longer, if in the meantime they can build a company whose revenue is, I don't know, 250 million a year annualized. I made those numbers up. I have no idea what they can roll up companies together what the total would be. I just used that number. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm going to fly Aeroflot. Aeroflop. I like that, the one. I like that. All right, I already answered that question. VVOS halted. Let me look. Well, it's 4 o'clock. I guess everything's halted. I didn't see your question soon enough. Let me see where it closed. 42, 41, but now it's 42 in the aftermarket. So, very smart man. Paying your taxes. That's very smart. Very smart. Yeah, it's 41 now, 42. The volume, it seems to be picking up. Seems to, I say seems to because I can't tell on my service. Fourth and fifth next window of opportunity. Kit Kitteridge is pretty good with his analysis. We just need 100 meter more from Denmark. Well, we were going to fly into the Netherlands. I think that's, yeah, Amsterdam. We were going to fly into Amsterdam. So many different itineraries. But I've been to Copenhagen, but I was very young. I'd love to go again. Someone asked before we go, how Jenny L is doing. Okay, I got that message. I'll have to call him back. But let me see if I can say any of it. Yeah, she's doing well. Jenny's doing well. She's home. And her family's happy. And she's got a lot of support from her husband. And he says I'm a mensch, which he puts, I think he exaggerates, but he explains mensch means a person of integrity and honor. And according to Leo Roston, a mensch is someone to admire and emulate, someone of noble character. So that's very kind of him to say. I don't see, needless to say, I don't see myself that way. But anyway, he's a good man and she's doing well. And that's, your prayers helped. Your prayers helped. I know they did. So anyway, I think I'm gonna, yes. I think she knows, and I'll let her know. I'm afraid to call her because I'm afraid it's just going to be nag. They didn't change her. They didn't change her. Her personality. Yeah, $40 for VVOS. Imagine if Finger went to 40. Wow. All right, I'm going to sign out because Lucky Boy looks like he wants to go flirt with every cashier on the street and get TREATSs in return. And because it makes him happy, I enjoy doing it with him. It gives him a purpose. So I'm going to wish all of you peace, love, and happiness. And we'll start thinking of, I'll try highlight some other people to pray for. But for now, let's keep our prayers up for Jenny and a speedy, full recovery. And hi, Heidi. And thank you, Robert. So we'll catch you on the morrow, and may the sun always rise to greet you. Ciao. I'm just reading another I will. Okay, so cheers. Catch you on the flip side.